Hi guys, thanks for tuning in today. We're at Ophir in central New South Wales, one of the big gold fields around Orange, and you go down Bathurst Way and you go into Hill End and into those gold fields. But so I'm on the XR190. I've had this bike now roughly I think 5 days. Put on it so far 250 kilometres of various types of riding. First time in my life now I've just decided to have a go at dirt bike riding, or dirt track riding I mean. So out of that 250 kilometres I've put on it, there's been I suppose 60 kilometres of outright dirt road riding, and I found this bike pretty surprising really. I think overall it's hard to believe it's not a bad bike at all. I actually prefer to ride it than the Enfield. So well, that might be just a honeymoon period for it, but the fact is it's not a fast bike, but you know, it's comfortable and it's more my style of bike, you know, not too high. I'm 5'9", weigh a bit over 80 odd kilos, but I just don't like high bikes much. And a year back I bought the Honda CRF 250 Rally, and it only lasted a short period of time and I sold it and just didn't like it. Then I decided I'd have another go at this dirt road go again. I went and just had a look at the standard CR 250, which was about $1,500 cheaper than this bike, and same sort of thing, too high, didn't like it either. So I decided to look at the specs on these bikes, and these are about a 32-inch seat height, and they're much more comfortable, and I like that idea on this seat height, so I feel like I'm keen to go out for a ride. But overall, like I said, I've done 250 kilometres on this bike. I haven't had any problems with it or anything like that. Does everything it should. A few people camping here at the crossing. Yeah, so this is where the first payable gold in Australia was found. Can't see it here, but it's just over on the right hand side. That's where they mark it at. We're going right up a really steep hill to get out of this Ophir, because I'm going to stop up the road a little bit further. We'll talk about the bike. But overall, I'm really happy with this small bike. In Australia they cost about $5,000, and you know, I was wondering if it'd be any good, or whether I'd hold on to it or keep it, or if it was no good sell it. But so far it's surprised me. Look at this steep hill here I have to go up. Pulls up really nice. Yeah, so it appears to be good on gas too. It's still running on the tank of gas I got off the dealer when I bought it. So that side of it's good. The ride's pretty comfortable. I find when I'm out on the road I can cruise it, although I'm in the run-in stage naturally. It seems comfortable to go along on flat sealed road without abusing it at 80 kilometres an hour, so it will travel along well at 80. I've had up on the way out here today, I ran it up to 90 kilometres an hour, and it seemed to run along at 90 all right too. But you know, the revs are up a little bit more. There's really no vibration through the steering or anything like that, or through the handlebars, so that's pretty good. And even on the dirt roads, I've had it on some really bad corrugated dirt roads. Not fast, because like I said, I haven't had any experience on dirt roads, but the thing is, it runs along very nicely, and I think when you get on dirt roads, the harder things get used to at times, when they get into a bit of a wobble, when they get into the loose stuff. So as far as that goes, well, here we are once again in the Ophir Reserve in central New South Wales. I go a few times here prospecting. There's Never had really much luck with that side of it, but anyway, back to the bike. So when you have a good look at it, you can see I've been by the dirt and all that on it. I have had it on the dirt roads. So if anyone wondering the specs on this XR190, they weigh in at 140 kilos. They got a 21-inch front wheel in Australia and 18-inch rear. Now these Aussie bikes come with a rear rack as standard, a small type front guard or sump protector or dash plate sort of thing, and you get side stands front and rear, on both sides, left and right. Now what I do like about the 190 is they do make a 150 here too, but it's carburettor. What I do like about the 190, it's fuel injected. So fuel injection wise, that's always a good point in the motorbike. As for the seat height for this bike, unlike the CRF 250 and the Rally, which is up around 35, almost 36 inches, seat height on this one's roughly 32. So if anyone else is interested in seeing something different, next couple of days I've purchased a 2019 model, or new 2019 model CB500X, so I'll be doing a review on that one in a couple of days time. So you might want to, if you want to look at something bigger, might be worth coming back and look at that. There are some viewers that always like to know what it's like on gas. Well, so far it appears to be pretty good. The gauge is probably showing still a bit under half. I've travelled 253 kilometres. It's a 12 litre tank, so it's still averaging so far 20 kilometres to a litre, and when we get to the stage later on I'll give a report back and roughly how many kilometres to the litre I ended up with. So at this stage it looks like it's going to be pretty good. Top speed, so it does 80 kilometres now fairly easy, or very easy, but you hear, you can tell the motor's working, so the revs are a bit high. I might put on one of those little tachos on there later on and just see what it's pulling at 80 kilometres an hour. But the dealer did say to me if I wanted to, he could drop a cog into the front for $20 or $25 and drop the revs that way. I think that'd affect you a bit after that on hills and stuff like that, because it does pull the hills all right in standard form now. So I think it would, I don't know, when it's running properly, I suppose, I think it'll run along at 100 kilometres an hour. I don't know how good that'd be for it, but it'd easily do 100 kilometres an hour on the flat, so there's no drama there. So, and I think later on I'd look seriously about a sports exhaust or something on like that to open the back, because I found that with the Enfields, if you've got a choked motor like this and you do fit a sports exhaust, straight away the bike is a totally different bike, and there may be a way out of that without spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on it, and get out of it a lot cheaper and get a good result that way. So that's something I will look into at a later date. But another point was mentioning now about vibration. Well, there is a little bit of vibration even at 80 kilometres an hour, but it's only a very mild hum or buzz, nothing serious, not like on the Royal Enfield where if you get on a classic 500 and it vibrates, you get off and you feel it running, tingling through your fingers and stuff like that, and it takes you a little bit to recover. You do feel a little bit of a buzz coming up through the handlebars, but so far I don't even ride with, well, I haven't even been riding with gloves of any sort on, but on, say, example, a bike that does vibrate, like the Royal Enfield, on those ones I usually use foam grips, heavy bar end weights, and good quality gel gloves. So at this stage, with this bike, nothing at all, so it's really good on that side. So if you're worried about vibration on it, forget it, there's virtually none. Suppose while I'm out here at Ophir, I might as well, for the first time ever, take this bike down on one of these dirt tracks and just see how it goes in a little bit rough country and just get an opinion there. So like I said, I've never been off-road before, apart from the very first few days now of riding a bike on a dirt road, so I haven't been in a paddock or nothing with it, so we might take it for a run down here and switch cameras and see how it goes. Oh well, let's try it on a dirt track. experienced riding around these paddocks, so see how things go. It's a lot rougher out here compared to what I'm used to. So, so what I can say so far about this bike is at least it won't overwhelm you with power. Like, there's only about 16 horsepower, so it's not going to get you into any drama as far as throw you back into the seat or anything like that, or not that I'm aware of. But I think for what it is, like $5,000 in Australia, it appears to be like a nice, fun, cheap little bike to play around with. So that bit aside, compared to where you used to just ride in the last few years bikes on bitumen all the time, it's a bit different to come out and look at pretty rough country like this. Or it is for me anyway. Oh well, I'll just take it slow, see what happens. Certainly is rough here. I suppose like all things, once you get on these bikes, you might get used to it after a while and then you'll know where you go, but to come up along here for the first time and I suppose a good idea would be I might cut down here, try this. Oh well, that wasn't too bad for a first attempt going along the dirt. Got down there drama free. I think after a while on one of these dirt road style bikes you could have a lot more fun than probably on a street bike or road bike. Well, it's not a bad ride through here. Could be wrong, but I suppose it would improve your riding skills on a bike after a while. It's definitely not tossed around like this on a road bike. This is definitely a four-wheel drive track. You wouldn't get a car in and out of this, or you wouldn't be silly enough to bring a car into it, I don't think. Or you wouldn't get out, but looks like plenty of people come in for the camp, but look at that wherever you go. Somebody gets broken beer bottles. I know where they should shove those bottles. So here we are right at the bottom and all good. This used to be a bad area for snakes out here once. Okay, we'll head back up to the top again. I might try that track. tell you what, guys, this, not that I know much about motorbikes, this sort anyway, but this certainly climbs up the hills good. No effort at all. Straight up. Pretty good, really. You can tell it's working harder in second gear, but in the first gear, bounces over these quite well. Good. But we look up, don't know if you can see on the camera, but there's that hill I come down on. Probably a lot better at it if you had a more experienced rider with you, something like that, and then you could just follow him, but don't know how this track will go. I'll just take it easy, first gear up here and see how it runs. Hey, good. Wow. Tell you what, not bad. I could probably get used to this after a while, and freaking where will I go now? Had something flick the bottom of the framework there near the foot peg, so I don't know what that was. Oh well. Probably not the best idea riding around out here by yourself anyway, so it was just to see really what it was like. Taking this bike off-road and taking myself off-road for the first time ever, but I think after a while you could probably enjoy it pretty well. Probably make you want to get up and go for a bigger bike. Just pull up here because like I said, this bike's brand new virtually, and you can smell it's a bit on the warm side. So guys, I'm back from that little bit of a burst down to the creek at over in the Summer Hill Creek there and back, so I think, you know, for a first run off into the scrub it was an interesting thing, and probably be a lot better if you had someone else with you when you're riding around, so make it a bit more fun. But I suppose at least it's a trial to see how the bike goes, and honestly I think for the money, $5 and the bike itself, you know, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on the bike. Earlier on I thought, you know, when I first bought this bike, that it might be only here for a couple of days and it'll turn out to be a heap of rubbish or something like that, but no, at this stage I don't think that's the case. I think it's a really good little bike, and you know, providing you're not chasing a powerhouse, I think you can get out there and have a fair bit of fun on it for not a great deal of money. And you know, so far it's proved reliable as far as the starting. I haven't had to fix anything on it or anything like that. So if you're chasing a bike like one of these, I think this XR190 fuel injected model would be the way to go. I forgot the camera was on. Yeah, so that's over for us. Now the climb out of the gully. But like I mentioned earlier back there, that I think a sports exhaust has had a couple of horsepower to one of these, and they always seem to work, and not a great deal of expenditure to do the deal. Nice clutch play with we'll have it over again. A nice clutch feel with this bike. Really good little nice light clutch. Steers nice. There's really nothing much you can get on this bike and knock, because you know, if I could think of anything decent or bad to say about the bike, or anything like that, I'd say now don't waste your money and buy one. But you know, for what they are, I think they're pretty good. For some, they just mightn't be enough power or not big enough for them, but you know, everyone gets a choice what they want to buy, and that's the best about motorcycles. There's a bike there to suit everyone. And I think for this, for my sake, this one suits me pretty well, and I'm sort of happy with it that way, and at least I can go out, run along a dirt road. Look at the size of this kangaroo. A big one. Geez, that's a big one. Fancy hitting that one. I almost hit a kangaroo in the 650 Interceptor I had a few weeks back, but nothing like that. That was only a wallaby, but that one was a full-grown grey roo. I bet you there'd be no change out of 6 foot on that guy. One thing I've noticed on the dirt since I've been riding it, when you get a loose bit and the bike wobbles a bit, it's not as scary as the first time you experience it, because you rarely experience it on a road bike. But when you experience the first time on these gravel roads, it sort of packs it, you pack it a bit. But the gear changes on these bikes are really nice, short, precise. So I'm not sure exactly where they're made, whether they're made in Thailand or whether they're made in China or where they assemble these cheaper ones. But either way, I'm still pretty happy with the outlay involved. So you know, sometimes I'd look at it, I've had a lot worse bikes than these, and I think we'll run the speed up a little bit. Yeah, look at that, the acceleration's really good. Look at that, really nice. So there you are now, sitting on 80 kilometres an hour. You can tell the motor's revving a bit, but the bike's doing it very easy. reverse to 90. And there you are, sitting on 90. But if you want something that just cruises along at 80, you can see it now, it cruises really nice at 80. Oh, that was an enjoyable little run through the scrub just to try it out. Not much difference between that little bit of rough road riding in there compared to just riding along on a sealed road that eventually turns to dirt. But so I think if you've been watching the speedo, it's travelling at 80k is really easy. You can feel it pick up well too, you know, from 60 or 70 k's off. No, I think if anyone wants to buy one of these bikes and you're happy that, you know, you're not going to be running a powerhouse, but you're going to have a bike where you can ride around town, or you can go on a dirt road, or you can go into a paddock like I did just then, I think you'll be very happy with it. And back on the dirt. You have to be a bit careful on this road because a lot of tourist hunters head down to Ophir to naturally have a look at the old gold mines and stuff like that, and when they don't know the road, you never know whether they're going to swing around one of these corners, and that wouldn't be good. So if you're still interested in a road or this type of bikes, but you're looking at something, you might like something a bit bigger. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, that I'll have a CB500X in the next couple of days. So, and I 7 months back I did have the 2018 model CB500X. That's the, but this new model has got the 19-inch front wheel on it, so I'm keen to take it out and see what I think, how it goes. So that'll be something for you if you want to come back and have a look at something like that. And this bike here, I think I'll just put numerous tests, and if I do decide that I can get anything to upgrade it a bit in any way, might be worth you looking back in that line too, because if I want to run any upgrades to it, well, I'll put them on, I'll put them up and see how they go. But overall, you know, I think it really is not a bad little bike. Like it accelerates nicely up onto the 80, but now we know that there's one grey jumper out. That means there'll be more grey jumpers out, so you have to be a bit careful when you come along here. I certainly wouldn't like to hit a kangaroo. surprised how big of a bashing these off-road bikes take compared to a road bike. I'm sort of surprised that they're actually still going. They can certainly take a hammering. Not saying with me, but I'm saying once you experience what it's like riding on dirt road or rough roads or into the paddocks, you got to credit, and you know, they really build these off-road bikes pretty good. Anyway, I'll probably close on this now because I think I'm pretty close to a flat battery. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch up with you at a later date on the next one.